Everybody is talking about it. Go. Feeling like I have all these dreams, I can do all these things, but I haven't hit this quota. I haven't hit these marks. And so you feel like you failed.
What about doing it so that you feel good about it?
Go. I like what you say about the unlearning and relearning, because I think that that's definitely down that road of like 15 minutes to failure. There are some behaviors that we are doing that are causing us to not achieve our goals in the ways that we really want it, right? Mm-hmm. And another thing for me, I was going to say of what I think of why people say no is we have it in our mind of what something is supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. Right? Like they say when you fall in love, when you first fall in love, you're not actually falling in love with that person. You're falling in love with who you are with that person, mm-hmm. who you get to be with that person. It's going to take you like a year or so to really, really fall in love with that person because you really don't know them, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that, ask yourself how many times maybe you set a goal. And I know this has happened for me. I've set a goal. I want to do whatever, achieve something. And maybe I get like up a year and I have actually achieved the goal, but it's not like how the polished version maybe I thought was thinking in my mind of what it was going to look like. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, it was going to have a bunch of people were going to be there. It was going to be a bunch of money. It was going to be all this. I'm like, instead it was only 5 people were there. I really only made enough to break even. And I've been stuck with these same 5 people for the last 5 months, and then you're feeling like it's not growing. So you have actually achieved it. It just doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look mm-hmm. like, And I think that can be a reason that people say no to things. I think not being able to accept help. I think it could be a self-worth thing. And I think it can also be just not being realistic about expectations. I think that those I would be put up there on the list of probably some of the biggest patterns I've seen repeated on why people fail. And it's small things. And then let's just talk about the word fail. 15 minutes to failure. We're not even saying, or at least I'm not even saying that 15 minutes to failure of like, you're completely over, it's not going well. I'm saying, what if failure to a degree was you are actually achieving something, but it's stagnating? You know what I mean?
Or you're achieving it, but you don't feel good in it.
You don't feel good in it, or you feel like burnt out. Yeah. Or you're feeling like, I have all these dreams, I can do all these things, but I haven't hit this quota. I haven't hit these marks. And so you feel like you failed. And sometimes I think it can be definitely high functioning. Maybe it's a high function failure, if you think about it, because it's like you're not achieving your goals. You are doing something. Think of so many small business people who maybe they have a business. It was always their dream. They have it, but they are living month to month. Mm-hmm. Are you failing? Because you're not. You have a business. Go tell somebody digging a ditch in a third world country that that like mining diamonds, that like this guy's got his own business. He can only survive for the whole month before the same customers. He's not growing. Like that person in that ditch is not going to think he's a failure, but that person who has that business that's not growing as fast as they would like it to is not going to think that. If anything, maybe people start to think of how the world is against them.
Yeah.
It's too hard. I don't have the resources. I don't have the right network. I don't have this. I don't have that. But it could be things that they're doing or not doing mm-hmm. that's actually really limiting that circle.
I would say probably if we're gonna go with what people are doing, mm-hmm. right? So if you have the 15 minutes to failure, which to me, if we redefine it here, that it's doing all this work where you don't feel satisfied with the outcome, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
And maybe not feeling satisfied with the outcome because maybe your expectations are too high, whatever, however you may define it, what your expectations were of that end result. But I'm thinking, what about if really the failure or the fame is more of it feeling easy or feeling good through the process, right? Because then sometimes you do something and it felt so easy, even though you did all this work, like, doing this podcast, scheduling, setting this all up, like it's work. It's not like it's hard. It's not like it's rocket science,
Yeah.
right? You just do it.
Yeah.
But it feels fun and it feels easy.
Yeah.
Right? And then sometimes people get into this mode of like, in order for me to reach that goal, I have to do something like I have to be up all hours. I have to be doing this every single day to the point where it's no longer joyful. And so the question is that you'll still get there, but then maybe it doesn't feel like success because it just doesn't feel good, right? It's not exciting anymore, or,
Yeah. I put pressure on myself. I know that would be where I would go. I'd find myself in a 15 minutes to failure. Like, what kind of pressure did I put on this?
What kind of pressure do you put yourself through?
I put myself in pressure of, it should be making more money. Maybe that one I don't do as bad. I usually feel like it should be more popular. That's usually the biggest pressure for me. And I feel like that's been kind of a lifelong thing that I've dealt with. It's not just about my art. It's just about me as anything. I think I even remember as a kid, like maybe like kindergarten or something, telling my grandmother something like, oh, so-and-so kid doesn't like this. And then I think my grandmother was just like, why are you doing it for them? Like, why don't you do it for your
question.
Yeah, like, why aren't you doing
it? What is it about popularity that is satisfying for you?
I think I have actually been sitting with the thought of this kind of lately. I think it was a value thing for me. Like, I think it was like a self-worth thing where I felt like if I was super famous or popular, maybe people in my life who had rejected me or didn't see my value at that time when it was on my terms, where I was just like, here's what I am. This is how I'd like to be valued. And I don't feel like they reciprocated that. I think maybe if I felt like, oh, if I achieve all this success, those people will regret that. That was one thing. And then also I felt like, and then it would also mean moving forward, I can do whatever I want. Like, people will respect me more. I can move freely. I can have more independence. I can have more freedom. I can have more power. And I think, that's what I thought that goal was for me. I focused on that so much. Actually, this is perfect reason why we're saying that. Part of the reason why, again, here, the First Church of the Buzzard, well, I want to point this out. Our sponsorship today, I came here, the owner of this particular very secret location. We can't tell you. But let me in here and showed me this place. And I was just like, you know what? Actually, this is what I want. And I want to point that out, that it involves an underground club, because you hear underground and like, it only needs to be popular to a point, right? We need to be sustainable. Yes, we want some extra success on top of that. But like, that was coming here and seeing this space. It just made me feel like I have been achieving what I set out to do. And not just like, oh, I just started achieving, like I've been doing this since I was a kid now at this point. And I'm like, and that's really all it's about. You want to see it grow. You want to keep having fun. Of course, you want it to be able to sustain itself. But the freedom.
Can we say that maybe the success or the fame part is you reaching your goal and having this feeling good unconditionally, because it doesn't matter what other people think, right? It's like, so when we were talking about or asking you, what is it about the popularity part? And what you're saying is that having people who maybe discredited you or thought lowly of you would change their minds. But in the end, you're doing it to kind of change their minds to make you feel better. But in the end, what about doing it so that you feel good about it?
Right? Yeah.
And I think that's the part where, when we're talking about the failure part, I think that folks, when I see, this is the problem that I want to get out of, or get out of that that energy that can easily happen, or when they look at, oh, you can't do it because of this, or this is a problem, or that's a problem, that's a problem. And after a while, it just gets so, it's just like, it feels overwhelming, or it feels like, what's the point? But in the end, you see all these folks who are doing things, and they do it bit by bit because they have joy in it. And then later on, you see like, oh, wow, they have this huge portfolio of stuff they've done because they were just going at it because they enjoyed it, right?
Yeah. No, actually, it's funny that you say that. I went to a marionette show last Halloween, and it was in this guy's driveway, and I think he puts it on every single year.
Oh, is this the one up in the Oakland Hills?
Yeah, it's Driveway Follies, and it was, you know, it's in a driveway. It's an independent show, but I felt like that thing had polish on it. It looked amazing. The puppets looked good. How they did the transitions, how they set up, and how the community had really come to expected, supported, promoted. And then there was even one guy in the crowd. He was watching and he's like, this looks like this is some guy's life's work. And I'm like, yeah, like here we are in First Church of the Buzzard. I feel like this is some guy's life's work. Like somebody kept piece by piece, day by day, week by week, month by month, 15 minutes by 15 minutes, just little pieces at a time until it built it, until you got there and you're like, wow, somebody wasn't paying attention or didn't know or got up along the road, met them and like, oh, you've been collecting all of this. It was amazing, right? That's, I think that now I'm starting to kind of like turn that corner there. I'm starting to think of that more. I had a conversation too with a friend recently, maybe a couple months ago, where she was just like, yeah, you really do put a lot of pressure on yourself. But also, how we really got to that part of the conversation is she was talking about toxic positivity. And I think I told you about this, that I had gotten kind of like, it wasn't working out for me at this one place I was at because they were complaining that I had toxic positivity. And I was like, I laughed at that and I was just like, well, I guess if somebody's going to complain about you having an issue, that's a good one to have. But I mean, it's a thought process like that maybe they're complaining about. But my friend was pointing out that like, there are probably times when I'm saying things that, yes, I'm being positive, but I'm not acknowledging the negative qualities that are really creating certain emotions and reactions for people. And I went, oh, okay, that could be a little different.
It's
I'm like, okay.
river hike.
Yeah, the river hike.
What's the river hike?
I took A on this creek hike, which was really dope.
Yeah.
We just weren't as prepared as we could have been. And there were expressions of negative emotions that came from a collective within the group. And mikO was like, no, it's cool. Let's go. It's cool. It's like, okay. And everyone's not necessarily feeling like safe or comfortable in this experience. We're going to do it. But it's like, cool for one and cool for another are two different things, right? So it is just acknowledging the experience that another person is having is not necessarily like fully positive. It's not fully negative either. But you gotta like meet people where they are.
See, I guess when I'm thinking back to that creek, maybe I was thinking when you guys were being like, what is this? One, I've been to that creek so many times in the course of my life. I have a romance with that place. And like, so I guess I'm thinking, if you guys aren't enjoying it, you're going to stop and be like, all right, I'm going home. Because somebody actually on the walk did do that at one point. And I was like, no, just open your mind up to it. I think you're going to like it. Keep going. And then, so I'm thinking.
What creek is this?
This is, I think, Saucil Creek.
Saucil Creek?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute hike.
15 minutes to fame today. We talked about 15 minutes to failure. We're here celebrating Independence Day. Whether you celebrate it or not, where you think it's problematic, we have so many different characters for you to choose from. We've got some rockets in the back. They were supplied to us. These actually have been blasted off for you guys who are looking at the video. We've got rockets here. If you guys just listening on podcast, these have actually been blown up. They've been.
You mean blown out?
That's a real rocket. Yes, you see
up.
that hole there? That's because that's been exploded. Thank you so much for participating and supporting us.
Participating by following, subscribing, going on the Patreon.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Patreon.com/mikO Tolliver. Yes, support us. I think, I'm trying to get better at remembering my skills of fundraising from the station, which I think I actually have generated some. Yeah, here, you got to tell people first, like, what's your goal? Our goal is we actually do need some more mics. That's going to be about, I think if we can get like $1,000, it would be super great.
Yes.
So definitely, you can to be a supporter on Patreon for $5, and you can get some of our hidden content. And you support us. Send us some costumes. P.O. Box 10961, Oakland, California. Make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for so much. Following me at mikO Tolliver, 2 L's. Don't worry about Antonio.
You can find me through mikO Tolliver.
Don't you dare to be sending me messages to him. Follow YannaT 904.
YannaT
yeah,
904.
And I'm definitely putting up the ads. I'm putting up little graphics when I go back in.
Find us.
Thank you so much though for supporting us. It's been great. Thank you to First Church of the Buzzard letting us record here and film today. Thank you so much. We are 15 minutes to fame.
We out.
We out.